I've done 77,000 kilometers, mostly track. I am at my fourth engine and fourth gearbox. Yeah?
It is a very cool story.
Thanks.
We are at the Nürburgring GP track with our friends from TrackSpeed. Gab is somewhere out there instructing, and it is Scuderia Hanseat. Scuderia Hanseat is one of the oldest track day organizers, organizing events specifically at the Nürburgring, 2 times per year, 3 days on track, 4 days event in total. They have literally like a 60 years history. I think the first track day was 1958. So it is one of these organizers that probably need no introduction. What I want to see is I want to find what is the coolest car of the event. And you can see there are a lot of cool Porsches, of course, as you expect to find at these events. There are a lot of cool BMWs, there are a lot of cool McLarens, a lot of AMGs. The co-owner of the company is a big Mercedes guy, so he has a very cool SLS that he drives on track, which I think is a bit of an uncommon choice. However, I wanted something that fits a little bit like the One Lap Hero vibe, so I want to find like a car that actually fits us more. And I didn't know which car it was. It couldn't be just another GT3 or a GT4 RS, which are plenty. Actually, I'm gonna put like a counter how many GT4 RSs and GT3 RSs exist here. You're not gonna believe it. I'm gonna cut like a montage now, like 3, 2, 1. And I know what you're thinking. I'm saying cool cars, and of course the paddock is full of all the latest Porsches. Whoa, 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 whoa. Actually, this is exactly what I needed. I'm actually searching around the paddock, and I'm trying to find like the coolest car for a One Lap Hero featurette.
Well,
do you have one in mind?
I have 2 in mind. That fantastic Cayman Frankenstein and the Dallara.
I think we're doing the Dallara,
yeah,
and the Cayman the next time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like
it's fine. Okay. Anyway,
you do your actual work.
I'm done with my work, so I will just bring the car back to Labrus.
This car, a car that I personally know very well since I was here when the owner drove the Nordschleife for the first time. This car, this is a Dallara Stradale, owned by a cool friend Alex, and I think you understand why this fits the One Lap Hero ethos 100%.
We met 5 years ago for the first time. Things have changed quite a lot in these 5 years. But it's honestly, it's emotional for me to think about this because it's been a long 5 years. So when I came here 5 years ago, I met these guys, and it was the first time I had come here, and I just got the car, and I'd never been on track before. So I was completely useless at driving, ignorant, didn't know anything. Now I've learned a lot, and thanks to this car. So the reason I started driving on track is because I got this car. So let me tell you about the car a bit. So it's, of course, I think most of you know 1,000 kilos with me and liquids. It's a carbon monocoque, so with fantastic aerodynamics. So the car has some exceptional things, for example, cornering speed, braking, is really phenomenal, okay? I think the car has some weak points, which is mainly the engine and the gearbox. The engine is a 2.3 EcoBoost Ford engine, and the gearbox is from a Focus ST. So in these 5 years, I've done 77,000 kilometers, mostly track. I am at my fourth engine and fourth gearbox, and I have worked a lot in these years in modifying the car to mitigate the problems they have. Which problems do they have? If you think in the Ford engine and gearbox are in the front, okay? Here we have in the back. We only get air from the 2 intakes here and here. So you can imagine the temperatures behind become very, very high. The problem is with the original, you don't even know the engine, the gearbox temperature. You have the water temperature, you don't have the oil temperature. So first things to do, let me show you. First mod from a Fiat Punto to open the boot. Otherwise you need a key. Okay? Then let me show you the engine. This is a mod as well, otherwise it would be plastic. So here we don't have a 2.3 EcoBoost anymore. Now we have a Duratec base engine, so you know the old Ford Mondeo. It's much more robust. I can get more horsepower out of it and more longevity as well. So first things to change on the car, for sure, engine supports. The original, the engine moves so much, especially on a track like the Nordschleife, you can really feel it. It becomes dangerous in some points, like Hatzenbach, you can feel the engine move a lot. So first thing, engine supports. Get rid of the catalysator, the heat it creates is crazy. Air filter, improve the air filter, and I think you need an open exhaust to get rid of the temperatures. So what have I done to mitigate gearbox and engine? The gearbox, I now have a sensor, so I can see the temperature, which is the first thing to know. Then I have added a radiator, which I can action with manually in the front. So now when the gearbox gets to 90 degrees, I can action the radiator. It's working really, really, really well, and I can manage the temperatures of the gearbox well. Before first lap, the gearbox would be 125, 130 degrees. You don't even know. I did one day 42 laps of the Nordschleife in Touristenfahrten. Maybe it's a record. And I don't know what I did to the gearbox that day, because it must have been 130 degrees for all day long. The engine as well, against the advice of Dallara, I've done like Porsche and Lotus. I have brought the oil to the front, put the radiator in the front to have the cooling of the engine. And this, I think, is working very well now. I've been there are many kilometers with this gearbox, many kilometers with this engine, and I'm really, really happy. It's working well. I need to manage the temperatures well, so I never do more than one fast lap in a row. I always cool down, and this helps a lot. You can't do 2 fast laps in a row. Well, you can try, but the second lap will be, of course, much slower. So this needs to be managed like this. Power, we are about 450 horsepower now, okay, which is really good. If you think 1,000 kilo car with me and liquids with 450 horsepower, it's good. So you can imagine the acceleration. You must think that because of the downforce, top speed is low. So above 130 kilometers an hour, you are starting to put a lot of pressure on the car. So the temperatures above 130 will start to increase. I can get maximum speed probably about 260 kilometers an hour. And at that speed, you must have maybe 1,000 kilos of downforce on the car. It's about 800 kilos at 200 kilometers an hour. So you can imagine how much it's pushing down. So the top speed is not very fast. Here I've put an holder, helps with the speed. I won one time attack race by having the same time as the other person, and I had the second fastest lap. So without this, probably I wouldn't have won. Okay, other things, the springs, original suspensions are perfect. The springs I have originally are 70 in the front, 80 in the back. Now I have 140 in the front, 120 in the back, so much more rigid, much more track for this. And then the brakes, the original brakes, look at the brakes. The brakes are Brembo. They are very small, but they are so good. I put the AP Racing on, but I went back to the original because with the AP Racing, I think it's too much. And also the balance between the front and the back changed too much for me. I was burning too many pads. And so I've gone back to the original brakes, and honestly, they work perfect. So my advice to other Dallara owners is don't put AP Racing because it's definitely not necessary. Then tires. Original in the front is 205. Then easy to move to 215. The car has much less understeer with 215. Still has some understeer. Now I'm going with 225, which is a lot, but I like it. My style of driving, I like it a lot. Puts a bit more pressure on the front, of course, especially on the brakes with the wider tire. But for me, the handling like this is perfect. Some people don't like it because it gives a bit of oversteer with this white tire. The back instead, we have the original 255 18. Now we have 265 18, and this is easy, perfect. There's not much else to say. Yeah, yes, this is one of my favorite mods. So, if you are small, not big person, you cannot drive properly in the car because you can get out of the seat. I can get out of the seat belt with the seat belt completely closed. I go underneath. So I've had one accident at Vallelunga because holding on too much to the steering wheel. And so this super mod, cheap, I put the Indy seat in, Get Speed did this for me, and this is honestly one of the best mods for performance, for safety, no doubt about it. One of my favorite mod probably. Here, some people like to see the boots, so you've seen the boot in the back, so plenty of space, no reason to complain. You can fit a rucksack in here, plenty of space. And then behind the seats, you have place normally for a helmet, but you can put bags in it as well. Other really important thing I suggest to the other owners, put the sensors. So here we have the exhaust temperature, really good sensor to have because it gives you a lot of information of how the engine is running. And then I have the gearbox temperature as well, which of course is vital, and I can action the radiator by hand, so to keep the temperatures under control. We've said everything. Yes, no, sorry. This I did to get more air in. So you see these bits here. They are 3D printed, just covered in carbon sticker. And this is to get, again, to mitigate the temperature problem and get more air into the boot. Just so from installation, the engine is managed by Beast Factory in Münster. So I go to the north of Germany. For the engine. Thank you, Chris. Really good job. The engine's going really well. And the car is kept by a real good guy called Christian Ferrari in Italy, RCF Motorsport, and he's been looking after the car for me in these 5 years. Honestly, I think it's the best Dallara there is around. The car is working really, really, really well now.
So, a very happy owner then?
Yes, yes. The car is part of me now. So many problems, but I've worked so much on it that it's a part of me. I would never go back and change it. People say it's not selling very well, the car, because if you compare it to a Porsche GT3 RS, the technology, of course, is very different. Now the car is quite expensive. It's good for me because they've only built about 275, so it's better. But the car is part of me. We are one now, so I will carry on working on it, maintaining it. I will not be changing it. I will not be getting a Porsche or anything else, or consider selling it. Come here, come on this side. Yeah. Why did I buy this car? I was doing one day an exchange of information with Dallara and my company. So we were doing an exchange of knowledge exchange. And Mr. Pontremoli, who's a very intelligent, good salesman, I think he realized I would be interested in a car like this. So he showed me the project. The car wasn't built yet. It was still a project. And when he said, Gianpaolo Dallara is the project manager, I said, where do I need to sign? Okay. So Gianpaolo Dallara has had this dream for years to build a road car, to build the fastest road car in the world. Project started and stopped 7 times, which tells you, wasn't completely convinced, Dallara, of course, to do it. They've never built a road car before. So when I saw the plan, the project, I said, I sign it. So I signed, I'm one of the initial owners who signed the project before the car existed. And this is it. So here I have his dedica in Italian to me, al mio amico Alexander, con stima e affetto, buon viaggio e buon divertimento con la Stradale, Gianpaolo. So this will need to be redone now because this has been here for tens of thousands of kilometers, as you can see, and it started to missing. So this is, I like this. I put it here so I can see it. When I drive, I can always look at it. Okay, it's for me this.